What up, guys? James from Bolt Bros here. Let's talk a little bit about the Super Bowl, kind of what we could learn about that Super Bowl, and kind of where we, for 2023, could get better and possibly learn how to be able to get to the Super Bowl and win games throughout the year and such. So let's talk about it, guys. Bolt Bros, let's go. Well, 2022 is done. Chiefs are the champion once again, and it's amazing to see what they have done. It's amazing to see what Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid has been able to do, and keeping continuity within that team. I mean, big shout out to the Chiefs, man. I mean, I really had kind of them written off that they could be in a down year. Once again, they still got to the AFC Championship game. They still got a Super Bowl win. It's pretty amazing to see what Patrick Mahomes has done in his years as a starter under Andy Reid. You know, I guess one thing I'm going to say about this, Andy Reid came in to the Chiefs and didn't have like the best of start as a head coach here. It took time to develop his system there. I think it was 2013 when Andy Reid came in, and he still had a little bit of a rocky start. Yes, he still got to the playoffs. He still found ways to lose in the playoffs, but it really took the right person to make the system work. So if I'm going to jump right into it, guys, I'm going to say one thing. Patience is a virtue. Patience really matters on building a system. The thing is, though, with the Chargers, we don't really have a lot of patient owners here. There is a lot of, hey, you need to show me that you could be a great head coach for this team. You have probably 3 to 4 years to basically figure that out. It's tough to think that. If you think about what the Chiefs had done, the system really didn't start working until Andy Reid got Patrick Mahomes to be able to get to the AFC Championship games for 5 years in a row now. It took time for him to get to that point. It took the right person to be able to get him to that point. So what I'm emphasizing is patience with this team. And I do feel very strongly that Brandon Staley can be our guy for a long haul. I would love to just see stability first off. So it took Andy Reid some time. He's got the right guy. Finally, after the 2017 draft, I believe it was 2016, something like that, when Patrick Mahomes got drafted, to be able to get this system to really work. And even to say the first year Patrick Mahomes was in the league, he only had one start. It was under Alex Smith running the offense. They still got to the playoffs. They did not win the Super Bowl, or get to the Super Bowl, I should say, during that time. So either way, that's first thing that I'm going to come from this. It takes time for a system to work. And, past 5 years, the Chiefs have dominated us. To be honest, Andy Reid has dominated the AFC West for a long time, and been division winners for a very long time. So that's just going to be my first point here on this. What did I learn from Super Bowl and the Chiefs winning and how dominant they've been? They've had that system develop. It's taking time for them to get to this point. So getting into a few other points here, guys. So first off, specifically with a Super Bowl, and I'm going to say even throughout the season, this is a thing that I've always said, that this defense is not going to be good for the Chiefs. Well, they weren't the best, they weren't the worst, but they did what they needed to do when it was required. So the defense didn't need to be locked down, but the offense needed to back up the defense. So it's a team effort at this point. Even to say special teams, Tony had a really good kick return to be able to put them into a winning situation, or at least in a red zone situation. It was a team effort on this, guys. It's the thing about their defense. It's very, very young. They drafted extremely well to bring in a lot of starters for this team, but they just have a few star players to be able to be the leaders for that defense. Your Chris Jones, Frank Clark. Those are those two guys that I really point out on that defense that really led those young guys around to be able to be a good defense. Extremely young defense. And I really feel you could have as many stars as you want. And how many times have we seen that where stars come together on a team and it just does not work? It's just about having those right guys that fit the system. one thing I'll say about the Chargers, we lack a system. I think defensively, we're having a system. We saw it last year where there was a system in place that just looked extremely dominant into the end of the year. The last 4 or 5 games, give or take, we looked really good. Albeit the Bronco game, I think that the team was past that game at that point. But even in the playoffs, there was a system. We were finding ways to get a lot of turnovers. There's a system in place. We don't have an identity in the offense. And that's where Andy Reid came in very, very well to be able to create an identity in the offense. The defense has done what they needed to do and just did enough to be able to back up the offense to allow them to be able to take the lead. There was a point that obviously the Chiefs were down. And what did the defense do? Found ways to make a couple stops just to be able to give the offenses chances. Also, they did get the scoop and score, and they only got 1 sack in a game. So you can't always rely on the sack and the turnover game, but they did get that scoop and score, allowed to be able to get the game kind of at a I believe at that point, a 14-14 game, not to allow that game to unravel. But what I'm emphasizing is the defense didn't need to be all stars throughout. It just needed to be guys that fit right for the system, guys that could find ways to be able to just play efficient football. I mean, this is the 3rd highest scoring Super Bowl in history at 73 total points. So we don't need to be locked down. It would be great to be locked down. But what I'm saying is that we just need a defense to be able to be efficient, the right young guys. I truly feel with the salary cap situations, with this current draft, potential changes of players and some of our star players, there's a great chance we could have a very youthful team. Now, once again, I do think that we got guys on our team right now that are very youthful based players that could do extremely well for us. Asante Samuel Jr. I mean, just the playoff game alone, 3 picks, phenomenal to see that. I think Derwin is still a very solid player all around and a great leader for that back end of the defense. He will be a good leader for us and a young guy for us. I do feel that JT Woods potentially, and maybe I'm a little bit fingers crossed on this one, I think he could really show out next year. I think the first year is the jitters. I think he has a lot of the intangibles that could be a very good fit. Let's hope that 3rd round pick works out well for us. But Jasir Taylor, I think, is a guy that we have to think about too. There's a lot of guys on this team that could very, very much well be a big step up for us. Otito Ogbonnia, I think Tito could be great for us, and I really hope that he's going to come back from that injury and do very, very well for us. He'll be a great guy for us. Fehoko, another guy too for us, did very, very well for us on the line. There's a lot of guys on our team that could fit extremely well. Now, our linebacking position is an interesting one for us, and I think that's something that will be looked at in the draft. Moving on, guys. Score touchdowns, not field goals. Yeah, okay. Chiefs had a field goal attempt early in the game, one of the biggest donks off the field goal posts I've ever heard. But yes, and once again, yes, in the end, a field goal won it for the Chiefs, but that was situational football. It didn't require a touchdown to win the game. But throughout the game, the Chiefs wanted to score touchdowns, and they went for touchdowns. I'll say also, too, going to the Eagles side of things, they went for it on 4th down 2 times and converted those 2 times. I said this after, and I actually said this during the game when we were watching the game with the Bolt Pride guys out here in Arizona. We don't need to score field goals. We need to score touchdowns. We had 2 opportunities a couple yards away from getting a touchdown where we decided to go for field goals. You need to be aggressive. I understand that could change momentum of a game, but at the same side, it could change the momentum even more for your side. Just one of those field goal attempts would have put us 4 points up. In the end, we would have won still if we just scored a touchdown on one of those. And even if you wanted to do one of those field goals, we would have won. But take risks when you can. And I think that's one thing the Eagles did a lot. But bottom line, the Chiefs, going back to the Chiefs, they went for touchdowns. And that's a big thing that even Tom Telesco talked about on his exit interview with Haley Elwood is we need to just score touchdowns, not field goals in the playoffs. I mean, you can't win that way. And bottom line, I think Kellen Moore coming in here is going to do a phenomenal job of making that happen. I think he has brought in a system that has been established, done extremely well his 4 years with the Cowboys. I think he's going to bring a big, big change to this offense, and hopefully a system that fits extremely well here. That has been an issue with the Chargers, is finding a system on the offense. It was a very timid system, in my opinion, previously with Lombardi. I think we're going to have a very winning-based system. So I'm excited to be able to see that happen, go for us. And I'm going to bring up an example from this game, by the way, that the Chiefs and Andy Reid did that actually will fit extremely well. First off, well, actually, let me go back on this. This play call reminds me a lot of what Kellen Moore could bring to this team. And first off, I'm going to say this is going to be one specific play. Andy Reid chatted with Peter King after the game about one specific play, and it was the touchdown to Tony, and in the red zone. And first off, the name of the play was called Corn Dog, and so we all know that Corn Dog. We always thought, maybe Andy Reid would be one of those guys that would make a play call based upon a food, and come to find out, we found out it is true. So anyways, let's see if I can try to pull this up here for you guys. But this I thought was kind of funny here. Let me see if this could come up here for you. But bottom line, this play to me, I thought this was great. This play to me was one of the critical parts of the game. Now here's Andy Reid over here putting in the play call. Oh, wait a minute. It's a Waffle House menu. It's just ironic that he called a play Corn Dog. And he's looking at a food menu, by the way. I thought it was pretty funny in general, but I said the same thing. I was like, man, that play call menu over there looks like the Waffle House menu, but it made me laugh. But I saw this meme after the game and everything like that, and it made me laugh. But let me just show you this play that we're chatting about with the Tony play, where, we're at this point where the Chiefs are down 21-27 early in the fourth quarter. Let's show you this play. And I just kind of want to show you kind of what it looks like, and something that I think will do a fantastic job for this Chargers offense. And I think that it's going to be something we're going to see quite a bit of, by the way, too. So this is the play. 21-27 Eagles early in the fourth. Let me see if I could try to emphasize this a little bit more. And let me turn off the sound here. So what I'm pointing out here, Tony is down here in motion. Looks like it's all man here from this point. Man on man. Press coverage. 3rd and 3. This is an 8-play, 70-yard, 4 minutes, 34-second drive so far. What Tony is doing is he's going to motion in right now. You can see Patrick Mahomes telling him, come on through. You got a couple guys here. You got a little bit of a motion here for the fullback. I believe we got basically another wide receiver up top. Single base coverage probably will draw out one of these defenders, and then he will kind of push out a little bit more here. But either way, we got Mahomes telling Tony, come on through. Kelsey right here. Perfect position for him. Great points to be able to come back here. Probably will pull in a safety here, right? So on this motion, what does Tony do? Boom. Stop. What does this do right here? Hiked the ball. Mahomes knew this, and I think he knew what's going to happen. Slay moves out to the inside. He points even to say, hey, look, he's going to be going into the inside as the motion was happening here. Boom. This safety right here is caught a little bit too. Cornerback moving to the right. What does this play end up doing here for you guys? Well, what this does, and I've been emphasizing for the longest time, we need winning offensive play calls here. Put a player in a winning base position. What does this do for Tony at this point? Well, let's see. Boom. Kelsey clears out 3 defenders in this point. Completely right in the flat. Tony takes the catch, walks it in, touchdown. No big deal. That is a winning football play, guys. Winning football play. That is a play that puts the player in a winning situation. And if we've looked at a lot of Kellen Moore's play calls, he uses a lot of two tight end sets and a lot of motion throughout his offense. And this is something that the Chiefs did twice: stop motion, pull out the player to the flat, wide open, touchdown. This is something that I'm going to expect from Kellen Moore. So what I'm going to emphasize is that we're going to see a lot of these type of plays where we put players in winning situations. That was an absolute masterclass on how to get players in the right position and to win games. So what I'm going to say, guys, is that this is what we're going to see. Kellen Moore is going to bring some phenomenal additions to this team, and it's going to be great. I'm looking very much forward to it, guys. And my last point here, guys, is that, hey, once again, I start out with this video giving a shout out to Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. I mean, they are doing amazing things. 3 Super Bowls in the last 3-4 years, I believe it is now. Just an absolute dominance. 2 out of 3 of those they have won, and they have found ways to be able to create a system. I'm emphasizing system quite a bit because Patrick Mahomes was the guy that made the Andy Reid system work. It wasn't Alex Smith. It was Patrick Mahomes that made Andy Reid's system work. He has a system in place defensively, offensively now that works. And I feel Brandon Staley has a system for our defense in place. Kellen Moore is that piece that could add that offensive system in place, specifically make Justin Herbert the system. And I think Kellen Moore is going to give that ability and hopefully unlock that from Justin Herbert. So I'm excited about this next season, guys. The script for 2022 has been burned per the Chargers social media team. Let's get this 2023 script ready to go. I'm looking forward to the next season, guys. Hopefully we can learn from this Chiefs win and how they had an absolute phenomenal season last year for 2022. On to 2023, guys. But let's learn from what we see from these winning teams and how we can apply it to our team. So once again, guys, like, subscribe, sub. I'd love to hear your comments. What are some other things that we've noticed from this Chiefs Super Bowl win and what we can apply to the Chargers for 2023, guys? So once again, guys, like, subscribe, sub. Appreciate everything you guys do. All the support you're giving to us, guys. Bolt Bros, let's go.